those days where you're like, maybe I'm the crazy one.
Oh, no.
And then,
what happened?
Oh, just everything. Usually followed very quickly by, no, couldn't possibly be true. Let me just keep doing what I've been doing.
It's them.
Anyway. Hi, girls.
Hello.
Take two. I love technology. What's the song from Napoleon Dynamite? It's like, yes, I love technology.
Oh.
Not as much as you see. Something like that.
That was really great.
So we had some bad news bears going on. Specifically, bears seem to have gotten into my computer and deleted some of our audio files. So we are re-recording.
Indeed.
Yes. So Claire and Caitlin have graciously agreed to get back on the podcast and take another look at Blackpink. But you know what? I'm going to try to think of this positively. Maybe we'll see some hidden gems that we missed. Maybe we'll go further in depth. We'll really get to the root.
I'm not about to say that I'm above watching Blackpink videos over and over and over again.
All right. Blackpink.
I'm into it. I love it. Nobody hates a reboot.
Yes. We are on episode 4, and it is a big one because we are starting off with our second group, Blackpink.
I'm excited.
So, Blackpink is a girl group underneath YG Entertainment in Korea and more recently signed under Interscope in the US for some promotions here. Yep.
Ooh, they're on the same label as Lady Gaga.
Ooh.
Girl, talk to me when they're on the same record label as Beyonce.
Oh my gosh. We can't go a week. We cannot go a week without referencing Beyonce. Two. Promotional preparations for Blackpink began in November 2011. So that was when they had a larger pool of trainees. Debuted in August of 2016 as the final 4 members, the lineup. And they have been very successful. Currently, they're the highest charting female K-pop act on both the Billboard Hot 100 and 200. And that is not like global music. It's not some subcategory. That is like the legit Billboard Hot 100 and 200. So that's pretty impressive.
Curious if there was any very popular K-pop girl bands before Blackpink, even though they're currently the hottest.
There are several groups that were popular and even made a little bit of broke some ground in the United States prior to Blackpink. One of those groups is Girls' Generation. You may have heard of them before or could kind of recognize it. I believe they even were the opener for Jonas Brothers back at the height of the Jonas Brothers. Well, the craze, phase 1 of the Jonas Brothers, height of their popularity. And there are some other girl groups that were very, very popular. But Blackpink, I would say, probably has made the biggest splash internationally. But I'm glad you asked that question because just for anybody who's an OG K-pop stan, we will most likely touch on a lot of those older groups, maybe second generation, early third generation groups. Yeah, so we'll probably be taking a look at those in the future.
Excellent. I was curious because I think the only other girl K-pop band that I've heard of is To Anyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
That got sort of thrown around in popular zeitgeist too. So I'm excited. I'm excited to go back deep into the deeper cuts of girl group. Cuts. Yeah, the deep cuts of girl K-pop bands.
Yeah.
From like 2009.
No, and there's, between the different fandoms, there's generally a lot of discussion about if the earlier K-pop groups are really relevant or were they the ones that paved the way for the popularity that these newer groups, are achieving? Or are they doing it kind of all on their own because their style is so unique and different? So there's always a little bit of a battle about that. I would be surprised that anybody could argue that not only did they really establish what K-pop sounded like and what it looked like, can't really overlook the fact that they made money for the entertainment companies to be able to produce these newer groups. Mm-hmm. One last note here. The official fandom name for Blackpink is Blink. So you'll hear them referred to as Blinks. It's a portmanteau of black and pink.
Push the two together, you get Blink.
I can't believe I had to have you spell that out for me.
You cut out the
I'm just thinking of Blink 182, and that's how old I am.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. That being said, Claire, do you remember when I shared with you a long time ago that AI weirdness website where they teach a neural network to like I don't know, come up with recipes or plant names or Dungeons and Dragons like spells or something. I don't know.
Heck yeah.
I went so deep into this last time. I was that and...
Oh, is that where we got the American Airlines or whatever?
No, that was just from Twitter, which was amazing. Did you see the second one I sent you where it was like, Delta, I did not receive cookies on my flight this evening, and I will be pursuing legal action.
Reminded me of the time that I had someone call and want to file a lawsuit because they did not get the girl toy in the Happy Meal for their child. It wasn't a Happy Meal, it was a sad meal.
Oh, discrimination!
Life is so hard.
Oh. So I want to read one of these off to you just because it's so funny. It's a neural network. They had it generate recipes, and it came up with a recipe. Basically, it's a list of ingredients. Okay? This recipe calls for 1.5 teaspoon chicken brown water, 1 teaspoon dry chopped leaves, a 1/3 cup shallows, 10 ounces... Shallows. 10 ounces brink custard,
What?
a 1/4 cup of bread liquid.
Oh,
Yes. Gotta get that bread liquid in there. It's very important for structure, for binding.
Yes. 1/2 cup bacon fruits.
Oh,
1/2 cup
right
vanilla.
up Bill's alley.
Yeah, bacon fruits. But it spelled like bacon.
Those are called piglets, guys.
1/2 cup vanilla pish and sours. 1/2 cup white pastry sweet crabs.
History?
Oh my gosh.
White pastry sweet crabs.
Delicious.
So wait, this is just pulling random words from a variety of...
Yeah, it's an AI.
Feed a database with 30,000 examples of recipes that are real. And it learns and tries to create some sort of like pattern, I guess.
Generating, yeah.
Well, when robots take over and are our overlords, I'm pretty sure it's safe to say that it's going to be a few years before they make it onto Top Chef.
Mm. Well, I love my brink custard. I'm not going to lie. And not a day goes by that I don't say, you know what would really hit the spot right now?
Bread water.
Some bacon fruits. But the funny part about...
brink custard to dip your bread water into.
Delicious.
Sprinkled with bacon fruits.
Oh, this was another one. I'm sorry. I know I'm not going to waste a lot of your time on this, but this was Harry Potter spells generated by a neural network. So they have a herding charm, a corn jinx.
Yes. Sounds dangerous.
Oh, what was the other one?
Did Harry Potter take place in Iowa?
This site is just, whenever you just need a good chuckle, I totally recommend AI Weirdness. They also do ones now where it's it'll feed a bunch of pictures of like cats and then ask it to create an image of a cat.
Oh God!
Oh my word! Some hideous beasts, I'm sure.
Yes.
I would like to see that one.
I'm gonna send you just this link that I have up now for the site that she's like a professor at some university and she does this like for funsies.
The more you know.
Blum, blum. Do you want to go ahead and actually rewatch the videos for a refresher for Whistle and Boombayah?
Sure, why not?
Heck yeah.
Okay. Blackpink in your browser space. So
I wanted to throw out.
Mm-hmm.
I've been thinking about Blackpink's production value on their videos. Not to say that EXO wasn't just as high production value, but they are so elaborate and they kind of go into costuming and they go into all of these different color schemes and everything. They must be spending so much money on these music videos too. And it's kind of amazing since they've only been around for 2.5 years?
Their first album was released in August of 2016. So coming up on 3 years, right?
Yes.
Yeah, but let me just give you a bit of an example. So in 2016, with the first release of their album Square One, which was the mini album with just Boombayah and Whistle on it, they sold 1,900,000, more than that. I'm rounding way down, but about 1,900,000 in Korea of that album. And in the US, and again, remember, this is almost 3 years ago now, So K-pop wasn't even as widespread throughout the US as it is today. They sold with their very first album as like rookies. They sold 12,000 copies in the US, which isn't too bad.
Not at all. Very respectable amount of album sales in the US.
Yeah. It's better than I've ever done.
Same. So I'm doing a quick check just to see, because I do have a little bit of confusion on whether I'm trying to see if if Whistle or Boombayah they were released at the same time, or if one was released before the other one. So I want to make sure we watch these in order. Now, it looks like they debuted both songs on a television music show in August of 2016. So it looks like they came out basically on the exact same day. All right. So we'll go in alphabetical order, which means it would be Boombayah. How's that sound?
Sounds good.
I'm ready. Yeah.
Okay. So let's go ahead and mute, and I'll see you on the other side.
I am so glad that Lisa told us that she's a 90s baby or 90s kid and then referenced Pump Up the Jam.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because how old is she again? She's not the oldest.
No,
she's born in 97.
Yeah.
So she had 3 years of living in the 90s. Pump Up the Jam came out in 89. Girl.
But when did it gain popularity?
I don't know. I do remember it, but but I was 5 when it came out, so we're okay.
Jock Jams was the portal to all of the 90s jams.
Oh, you're right. And that was like 98, 97 when that came out.
I don't know if this was a thing, but all of the crazy albums, like This Is Music Now, and like Now This Is Music Too.
Yeah.
Were Jock Jams, like, were those types of tunes also on those types of albums where it was just like, listen to Music Now 3?
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm going to release an album called Smock Jams.
Yes.
And it's just going to be, I don't know, who wears a smock anymore? We don't consider nurses wearing smocks, do we?
No, I think only artists wear smocks.
Yes. Artists wear smocks, and they need smock jams.
I like where this is going. I like it. So,
just like, this is the song again where they do the.
Oh yes, and have you come around to the fact that they are, trying to imitate some sort of stereotypical Native American?
I want to reinforce that with, I think it's Rose.
Mm-hmm.
She's wearing a Sexy War jersey in the roller rink, that it reinforces the Native American war cry in the choreography. And full circle, right?
Yeah, nothing sexier than...
I just can't. Clearly I'm in the minority here, because a lot of the comments online are about it being a Native American war dance or rain dance as they're in the circle. But a lot of the shoulder movements and the hand movements are reminiscent of Indian from India, not Native American, Indian dance. And the beat, the background melody makes me think of, like Indian music or Bollywood dancing. And I did just find on YouTube a Blackpink Dance to Bollywood mashup.
Oh, nice.
And wait, Blackpink Boombayah Hindi version, Indian cover.
Oh, that'd be interesting to watch.
So,
Claire, after last week when you spied the Sexy War jersey, I paid attention to what was on the shirts of all the girls throughout the video this time. In fact, that's pretty much the only thing I did for 4 minutes and 3 seconds. And did some research on the resource site that Chone found, which is K-Style Files. And I was able to confirm that at the beginning, Lisa is wearing a Ziggy Stardust baseball style tee.
And she had sort of the rainbow and the star on her face.
Rose at the midpoint of the video is wearing a Beyond Kawaii shirt, like a mesh shirt. Jisoo at the beginning is wearing like a white collared shirt that has a heart with somebody's picture in it. Now I cannot figure out who is in that picture, but as close as I can get to it on K-Style Files, it looks to be like some dude like with a 70s hairstyle. So who knows? Could be anybody. And then the last bit that I came across was that Sexy War jersey is actually called like an anti-war shirt. So, yeah.
Well, that's sort of, a lot of Blackpink seems like they're about female empowerment. Mm-hmm. And so that's sort of semi-relational in that way, where maybe not. I I don't know. I just sort of in a moment thinking like, yes, a powerful woman statement would be something obvious. Like,
it would be like anti-war.
Anti-war.
But
yeah,
make
like
it fashion.
I get it.
Yeah.
Maybe it was a war. Maybe it's anti-war because it's a sexy war, meaning that the girls withhold the sex and the patriarchy comes crumbling down.
Oh, I got caught sort of in the middle of 2 protests in London one time. It was people, I guess, protesting for supporting the war in Afghanistan and the kicking off of the war in Iraq at that time. And then there was a group of women who were protesting or, like, I guess, advocating for women withholding sex from any men who support going to war or the British supporting the American war. It was interesting, for sure.
Because, of course, that's the most important thing we have to offer the world.
Well, unfortunately...
No, that was me being sarcastic.
No, I know. Sometimes you have to speak in a language that other people can understand.
I'm not shaming it. I mean, I'm feminist, and I mean, I guess all's fair in love and war. Even a sexy war.
What did you think of the dance, the choreography in this?
I think the power move in this video is definitely Rosé sliding underneath all Jisoo, Jennie, and Lisa, and just like her hard stare into the camera while she just slithered underneath them. Power move.
There's a video you can watch of them doing a live stage performance at one of like the music awards, probably at the end of that year, 2016. And they like, cut as she's doing that move to the male idols in the crowd, and all of them lose their shit. I guess that was not a move that they had ever seen before.
That's incredible. I don't know. I think the other thing that stood out, Lisa being sort of the strongest dancer, didn't really take. Yeah. And so I thought she would have more of like a lead in the dance choreography in this video, and I didn't really think she did any sort of like soloing dance moves here.
No, you're right. Yeah.
Her sort of main rap was. It's always so confusing to me because I think a lot of K-pop can sound like word salad because some of it's English, some of it's Korean, some of it's nonsense words. So if you're not familiar, it's just, I can't tell what is happening right now. It's like a delayed understanding.
Yeah, I agree. And there's even more English in these songs that we've listened to over EXO for sure. I think interspersed. So yeah, and it's tricky because they say things like Rambo or Pump Up the Jams or 90s Girl, like in the middle of everything, and so then it's totally like, wait, has this been English the whole time? I thought Jennie's intro rap, I really like the rapping in here. I think it's fun, and I'm a fan of this kind of rap.
Agreed.
Kind of poppy rap, but I think that she is really imitating. She sounds a lot like Iggy Azalea.
Well, yes. I wonder if that's a little bit of that. She studied in New Zealand, not Australia, but I wonder if it's a little bit of sort of Aussie New Zealand accent coming out.
I think Iggy is from New Zealand.
Exactly.
Iggy, get it?
What?
So funny.
Well, the conversation about words that sound English or there's a lot of words that are onomatopoeia. I guess that's what we would call it in English. But they're not the same sounds as what we use, obviously. Yeah. So there's lots of words that are like that kind of sound silly. It sounds like a kid is like making up a word, but it's supposed to represent the sound.
My favorite onomatopoeia in language is, instead of saying cock-a-doodle-doo, in Spanish, you say kikiriki.
Oh, that's so cute.
That rolls off the tongue so nicely.
Kikiriki.
I remember being really mad about what in French class they said dogs and cats sounded like in French. I'm like, there's no way anybody hears it like that. It made me so mad.
Because woof is so accurate.
One thing I did want to mention, because obviously we lost the audio from the earlier recording, is this is the first video where, just because of the lyrics or the girls' voices, you're able to pick up on some of the words that do sound like words that have a negative connotation in English, like nega. So when you hear in Korean somebody say the word nega, and sometimes when they're singing and they're saying it fast, it sounds like something else. That is referring to yourself in Korean, like I am. It stems from ne, which means I. And then also there's some variations like niga means you, and nega, the romanization of it is N-E-G-A. That would be if you were emphasizing yourself as the subject of a sentence. And then nega, referring to yourself like I am, that's N-A-E-G-A in the romanization. So it's hard to pick up on those variations when native Korean speakers are saying it because they don't maybe emphasize some of those vowels the way we would. And it can sound like you're saying maybe the N-word. The fact that that word is one of just their standard words in Korean, it doesn't have any sort of negative connotation. But with BTS or the advent of, K-pop becoming more and more popular in the US, there has been some controversy or discussion about changing lyrics so it doesn't cause confusion. Mm-hmm. So it's be interesting to see what happens as we move forward. If people are going to just accept that that's their word for I am, it doesn't matter that it sounds like something else, or if we will see other K-pop groups change lyrics or even just write lyrics initially to avoid some of those words. So it can be released to a wider audience with no controversy.
No, I appreciate it, and I found that really interesting.
Okay, so we talked about the wording of the shirts, but I wanted to just very quickly touch on the fashion, since this is our first girl group. Outside of the sexy war jersey, what did we think of the style? Whether it was the colorful braids in the first scenes or the fact that they're all wearing chokers.
Or in Jisoo's case, she wore a full-on belt on her neck.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It's 1.5 inches.
Yeah, it looks like a cat collar. It's like a soft woven cat collar, and the strap of it that after it buckles, it's sticking straight out.
I don't know why. I just love, you remember the super chunky belts that everyone belted everything for a hot minute in 2014 or something.
They were super big.
Yeah.
So they drew attention away from your love handles.
I really feel like with a group with this sort of fan power, they could really pull off a real chunky belt around the neck.
Yeah, they have a thing in K-pop. We'll see it even more as we move through other groups with doing not questionable, but some interesting chokers with metal hoops on them, different types of harnesses and things. And it's a little different, especially when some of the artists look so young.
Yeah.
It's a little startling sometimes. I'm not going to focus on that part of your costume. I'm just going to focus on the singing or the choreography. But I always find that it just kind of smacks you in the face when you're like, oh, this is so cute. Oh, okay. Someone
too much
is
for
into
my
some
eyes.
other things. Yeah. But in this video, I would say, I think for the most part, Lisa's style, the outfits they picked for her, and Jenny's outfits probably are my favorites. Especially Jenny's with the big ripped up jeans and then wearing fishnet tights underneath them. That's so cool. That's what I would do. If I had to wear fishnet tights, I would rip up some jeans and wear them over the fishnet tights.
Mm-hmm. I just think Jenny's look and what she's representing in Blackpink is so powerful among just your perception of the traditional image that we hold to a lot of Asian women, docile and very feminine, petite, and she's very powerful and just
in your face.
Just how she's wrapping her look. I think it's really cool to see that. It's just it's a bold power move, and we should be more accustomed to seeing, I don't know, just women of power from all different backgrounds and cultures and races, and having that opportunity to be portrayed that way. It's cool.
Absolutely. There's something in what you said that tripped a memory. I had caught a video, and it was somebody, I don't think she was making fun of, but she was a professional singer and she was analyzing the vocals of Blackpink, and she was going through it, and she said that, Jenny kind of throws her voice away. She's just shouting. She's just kind of pushing it out there. And if it was me, I would kind of do it this way. But I think it's actually kind of interesting because I like the sound of Jenny's voice. To me, it fits. It fits the message. It fits the lyrics of what I know of them, to just kind of have that in your face sort of, maybe I'm throwing my voice at you and you better catch it.
I mean, I guess I didn't really view Jenny's parts as really singing per se. I found them to be mostly rapping, and I think I don't know enough of the Korean language, but certainly the English parts that I heard was a lot of words in a very short period of time, so you kind of have to throw your voice away, I think, to get it all out.
I thought it was Boombayah, but maybe it was another one. I think Boombayah has a Japanese version, and in the Japanese versions, both Jenny and Lisa rap in English. So you can actually hear what they say. They don't rap in Japanese in that portion. The rest of the lyrics are in Japanese. I may be saying that incorrectly. It might be one of their later songs, but that might be something interesting if you are curious to know what they're actually saying.
I would be into that.
Yeah.
I'm always curious if the lyrics are telling a story or just they go together, or is it just, again, more like word salad? Because they're powerful words to say that are traditional that you'd hear. It's more of kind of like a rap trope. Or just, how oftentimes you'll hear a popular rap song and they'll kind of throw in the same rhyming reference as a tip of the hat to something else. And so if you're in that, I guess, genre and listening to it a lot, you almost like hearing it because it kind of interweaves the rap community together, I guess.
She's into
Should we move on?
Fine. Yes.
Sorry.
No, I know. It's so late for you. So let's move on to Whistle.
Right.
All right. I'll see you guys on the other side.
Bomb.
That stupid Nintendo controller. Why would you go to all the trouble of like taking it apart, fixing it, painting it pink, and then throwing it in the bottom of a fish tank?
It's art.
I'm trying to look up Blackpink Whistle music video theories, and I thought I caught the word on one of these that's not a Nintendo necessarily, it's a Dreamcast. So maybe the fact that it's like a dream or something, I don't know. I'm trying to find it again now. I'll find it later. Can I just say how much I love Rosé's voice at the beginning of the song? Like after Lisa does her whistle like a missile bomb bomb part, Rosé is sitting on top of the world and she just kind of like brings it in and it is so pretty. I love it.
Yes, you can say that.
I can say it. I can. Yay. I love that. The style of this video, again, I think is just really well done. Not quite as much dancing as Boombayah, but more visuals for sure.
Yeah, so many aerial shots.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Just constantly looking down, peering into their world.
That happened a lot with EXOs too, I noticed.
Mm-hmm. I have a question, Catherine.
Mm-hmm.
So 2 observations about Jennie in this video, Whistle. She sings in this video, which is kind of neat because she had such a prominent rap part in Boombayah, but Lisa had more rapping in Whistle. But what does padar mean? Because she did it in both videos, Whistle and Boombayah.
So param is wind. So I'm guessing they are using that as whistle, right?
That makes sense.
I actually don't know if there is another word in Korean for whistle or if they just use that as a creative way to get the point across.
Oh.
So I'm going to look that up real quick. Oh my gosh. Claire, you have just blown my mind with your questions. This whole time, I think I remember hearing this song early on when I was learning Korean, and I will never forget, it was like during a weather section of my studies, I heard param, and I thought, oh, that's what this means. I just Googled, the word for whistle in Korean is hui param. Wait, I'm going to say this right. Hui param. So when I was saying there, I thought they were saying we in English and param, but they're not. They're saying
whistle.
Hui param. Yeah, the whole time.
Wow.
Wow. You know, I'm glad we lost that audio from the last one because I would be embarrassed. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Okay. So sorry. My mind is blown. I feel like a real tool.
I still don't understand the story behind the music video.
Yeah, I clicked off my Blackpink Whistle music video theory to look up what whistles in Korean is not gonna Whee param.
Should we do one more?
Well, so I am so glad you asked that, Caitlin, because I want to, just because this is a momentous occasion, not necessarily move on to another Blackpink video, but I want to do a special feature, and I'm sending you the link for it. I mentioned in our last episode that this is the month of EXO, and Baekhyun was coming out with his solo debut. His new song, UN Village, just came out this week. And it's so good. And I wanted to know if you guys want to take a look at this video and give our thoughts.
Yeah.
Sure. This one says City Lights, or that's the album?
That's the album.
Okay.
Yes, this is Baekhyun's solo debut. This is the first music video release of the album called UN Village, not Unvillage, as some people were saying before. And I know you probably don't have a lot of confidence with me after the param, hui param issue, but I'm almost positive this is UN Village.
You have my full faith. I'm ready. Let's do this.
See you guys on the other side. Aww, it's so cute. That was Baekhyun's UN Village music video.
I think this is quite different from the other video styles. This is actually really low, no special effects. This was straight up an Architectural Digest model shoot. It was just different, beautiful architectural spaces, either black and white light or very muted lighting, kind of a spotlight. It has a very R&B vibe to it.
Mm-hmm. That's what I was going to say. It felt a lot like how Justin Timberlake came out as a solo artist.
Ooh, yeah.
It was a little bit jazzy at the beginning, the keyboard. But yeah, as it progressed, I was like, oh, this is R&B. That's what this is. It was so nice to hear him as a solo artist because this is the first time I've been able to notice and be like, oh, he has a really beautiful voice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it really shows off in this music. I could not agree more. Claire, as I just was Googling something just to double check, one of the first things that came up was Seoul's UN Village is a feng shui dream from a website called Mansion Global. So that may be where they decided to film quite a bit of it or try to recreate some of the look. I'd have to do some more investigation.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. The location director or assistant probably had a nightmare of being like, oh my God, we have to rig all of these cameras into these very specific shots because this is all we're doing.
It paid off. So good job, you.
Congrats.
Did you guys watch it with subtitles or did you just watch the video?
With subtitles.
With.
Heck yeah. Which I appreciated because, again, not knowing exactly when I'm listening to Korean or English, I was almost expecting a Netflix drop or hint because of let's get together and chill. Like,
yeah.
And watch Netflix. Got it. That's perfect.
Yeah, it was helpful to know that the lyrics involved like laying down looking at the moon because that was very much the vibe that you got. Like Claire was pointing out with the muted tones and the black and white, it very much was in the dark looking at the moon, you know.
Not like taking a girl to make out point. That's what it is.
Heck yeah. Yeah, there's a part where it's talking about the curves, the hill, the hill, the hills. I thought he was talking about a girl's body, but he very much was like, as we go up, there's a street light. I was like, oh, way more innocent than I thought.
Oh my God. Caitlin, I want to hear that remix. Do that again. That was perfect. I liked everything about that little ditty you just dropped on us.
Guys.
As we go up the hill, there's a street light.
Did I do a country?
My
album is dropping tomorrow, and I expect this to be in your next podcast episode.
Hannum Dong, UN Village Hill. I love it. Oh, so Baekhyun, I mean, what the youth say is they have a bias and they have a bias wrecker. So Lay will always be my EXO bias, but Baekhyun is definitely my bias wrecker. He just swoops in there and I'm like, oh, now you're my favorite, you crazy kid. Baekhyun has broken records. He is the highest selling artist for pre-orders for an album before anybody heard any of it.
Wow.
Is that what I saw on my Instagram feed? I saw some video of him holding an award or something and he was tearing up.
I think if I remember correctly, I saw the same thing. And what I interpreted from it was that was a throwback to the first award that EXO had won. And he had cried because he was, obviously probably happy and emotional. But the soundbite that was attributed to him was that he somehow felt sorry or guilty for being part of that award when I think he was only like a trainee for a couple months while the whole rest of the team I think Suho had been a trainee for 5+ years. I think that's what I saw. But I would not be surprised if he is on quite a few more awards shows going forward and winning lots of things. But I don't know, since this just came out earlier this week, even their weekly music shows where they do have some sort of competition, I think those are generally at the end of the week. So I don't think that there has been enough time for an awards show for this yet.
Good job, Baekhyun.
Yay, you did it.
I have a girl crush. Do they call it girl crush or bias for Blackpink?
Oh, bias. I mean, you can call it whatever you want.
It's
I
Jenny.
don't accept girl crush.
Oh,
it is. Oh, Jenny's your girl crush. You're biased.
Yeah. Well, I think they're all gorgeous girls, but I think she's super gorgeous and I like her rap style and she wears clothes really well. Although Lisa's very fun too. I don't know. These girls are great. I like them.
Yeah, I think
You know what I love about Blackpink as a group? The fact that there's only 4 of them makes it so much easier to not only recognize them, but like pick up on specific traits or characteristics or sort of their contributions in the band and their unique styles, which is almost impossible with a 12-member band like EXO because you get just fractional seconds of seeing them. So this is sort of fun. Like you really can pick your favorite member and appreciate each one for what they are and what they bring. Yeah.
Agreed.
I agree.
Yeah. Ooh. It's playing again for me, which I'm not mad at, but not right now, Baekhyun. Give me
later, Baekhyun, later.
Come on. I know you really want to like ratchet up those views, which actually has 4,493,000 views since the 10th of July, which was yesterday,
Which is yesterday.
Yes.
Yesterday. Yeah, that's crazy.
That's insane. The views is a big thing for Korean K-pop groups as well. They really tout that, like Blackpink's most recent release, Kill This Love, BTS's Boy With Love with Halsey. That was like a big thing, is stream, on Twitter and stuff like that. And then a huge outcry because YouTube has some sort of algorithm that can count real views versus, I don't want to say fake views, things like that. And so at one point, I think BTS, for example, lost, 10,000 views and people were like, boycott! We're so mad. It's a really big deal for K-pop fans. So I think Baekhyun's doing pretty good.
Yeah, man.
Yep. So I really appreciate you being willing to jump back on and help me re-record this and salvage it. It's what Blackpink deserves, not me.
I want to thank you, our fearless leader, Catherine, for expanding our education into Korean culture and pop music.
Whoop, whoop.
Absolutely.
I'll be the Suho of this group. No, I appreciate it. This has been really, really fun for me. I'm glad that you guys are willing, even though I know this becomes like a whole extra thing you've got to schedule into your already busy weeks. So good way to transition into me discussing announcements, like one sad one that we do have to share with everyone tonight. So we're busy ladies. We're very, 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 very busy. I've got a good 8 hours of Instagram time I need to put in every single day.
Oh my word. Yes. Important priorities.
Yes. All three of us have more than full-time jobs, and we're not complaining. We love this kind of creative outlet of the podcast and kind of exploring something new. But between editing, between our various schedules, it's becoming a little bit of a difficult task. So we've made the hard decision to push recording to every other week, which means you will get a new podcast every 2 weeks instead of every week from this point forward. So that'll be our schedule going forward. Being willing to work and be flexible, and even if we're moving it to every other week, I definitely appreciate the time you guys are putting into it.
Happy to do it. We are enjoying ourselves.
Yay! All right, quick business. Yeah.
I think it's so fun. Sorry, I just want to add, Catherine's goal is to have 8 hours of Instagram time a day. Mm-hmm. But my goal was always to be on a K-pop podcast. So
Yay!
Literally living your dream.
Yeah, this is great. You made it happen.
So this is very cool. I appreciate you guys. A couple quick business items I just want to go over. Please check us out on Instagram or Twitter. Our handle is kokopop_podcast on both of those until I get that @kokopop name. I'm going to wrestle it from the spammer who has it. No, maybe. We are now uploading our podcast audio onto our YouTube channel.
Woohoo!
So that is one way that, especially for our international listeners, it may be a little bit more of a simple, more efficient way of getting access to the audio. But we are also on multiple podcast platforms on Anchor, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts, Breaker, Overcast, and Radio Public. So we got that going for us. And my next project is to further develop our website and post our watch lists there for anyone who might be interested in seeing what we're doing.
It's a secret sauce.
Mm-hmm. All right. So that's it for this week and our first episode of Blackpink. We will be back, not next week, but the week after, with our next episode of our Blackpink deep dive, where we'll go into Playing with Fire, As If It's Your Last, and perhaps Doo-Doo-Doo-Doo. So that is something to look forward to.
Is it Doo-Doo-Doo-Doo or Doo-Doo-Doo-Doo?
Oh.
I guess we'll know when we hear the song.
Yeah. In the song, there's an extra doo-doo that they do not have in the title, which was very confusing. But I think I liked the way Claire said it, so I'm going to go with that.
All right. Can't wait.
Yay, I'm excited. All right. Thanks, ladies. Thanks, everyone, for hanging in there with us. We'll see you in 2 weeks.
Laters.
Bye.
See ya.